right, welcome back, Maniacs. What is going on? So, got us a little bit part two going on here. Woo friggity who. All right, so whoop shit. You get that a lot from me. Still learning what I can and cannot do with this bitch. So, as is our tradition here, grab your vape. All right, I'll fucking wait. Alright then. Let's have a vape start the show out properly. And, yeah. Let's have a vape. I'm telling you, yeah. Alright, so, welcome back. Unfortunately, one of my regulars probably can't be here today because I think he's working, and I was going to put this off, but I got some other shit I got to do this afternoon, so I figured I'd go ahead and put this out there. And Boogie, I'll get with you later on, and next live stream I'll make sure that you're able to tune in. But this one's probably going to be the last stream I do for a minute, just because I've kind of run out of things to say on this particular topic, and I am not the be-all, end-all as far as the advocacy part of it goes. I don't have insider information or any of that other stuff, and my audience isn't near as wide as the people who are already doing that. So it kind of makes no sense for me to jump into that arena. So I've got an idea of what I want to do going forward as far as putting content on this channel. Live streaming probably will be far and few between. I'll probably maybe once every month or two put one out. So the purpose of this video is, as I alluded to in the end of part one, is I teased a lot of shit at the beginning of part one, and I didn't deliver. I didn't discuss those. So I went back and I watched it and looked at all the things I said I would be talking about that I didn't get around to, and I made a list, and so we're going to go through these. So this is probably going to be a little bit of a shorter video, but that's okay. That's okay, I think. Let me look one more time and see where we're at. Okay, we're still in the same place. So, as a quick note, the RTA that I was talking about last time that I was going to get information on was the Mage version 2. I couldn't remember the name of it. It came to me later on, and I went and actually looked at it because I've got one back on the fucking shelf. Like a dumbass, I didn't look at the box. I looked at the one that I actually own. And to that end, I'm going to do like not a plea or whatnot to the community, but I do have something that I'm thinking about doing, and it's going to require a lot of people's help, and I don't get that many views on my stuff, so but maybe a person who happens across it actually can participate in that. So, and go Chiefs! Just go ahead and throw that out there real quick. So I need another vape. I know. It's a thing. This vaping thing. I like to do it. These flavors are just fantastic. Okay, so I had someone who watched my video who asked me. They've watched several of my videos, and I always allude to a particular reviewer that I cannot stand, and who the hell was it and why. And so I figured, because I mentioned a little bit in the last video, the Phil Basardo, I'm not a huge fan of anymore. Used to really enjoy his content when he was first in the early days. He was the place you went to if you had a question, if a device was actually putting out what it says it was, if it built the way it was supposed to be built, all the technical information that you could ever want about a device. he would break it down. And I meant to grab that before I came up here. Hold on, let me. All right. Let me grab this device here because this is round about the time I stopped watching. So, I was a real religious follower of his show, and then about the time that this come out, I don't know if any of y'all remember this, the Kangertech 5.6. I think that's what it's called. Is that what it's called? Yeah, the 5.6 takes 5 batteries. Now you don't get really the power from all 5 batteries. The one up front really didn't do a whole lot, but 5 batteries. It didn't really give you a long battery life. It didn't give you much more in way of power. It was pretty much a kitsch product from the get-go. And actually, the entire industry changed right around here, if memory serves me correctly. Okay, and then we have a Buddha version 3 sitting on top of there. It's a good RDA, not the best, but it's a damn good RDA. So when it came to this, we got some snide comments from Phil about this is what's going to ruin the industry. I'll let that sink in for just a moment. Because this had 5 batteries. Go ahead and take that topper off here. This was going to ruin the industry. The Watt Wars were going to ruin the industry. Big, monstrous RDAs were going to ruin the industry. Well, as it turns out, none of those things actually ruined the industry. It was pod systems. Pod systems and nic salts. But I didn't. That struck me as kind of kind of biased, really. That a 5 battery mod would be the beginning of the end for the vape industry, and it turns out 800 mAh batteries are what's killing the fucking industry, or 650 or whatever. And then the other thing that he would do quite frequently is equate the big RDA tips as dicks in your mouth. Yeah, I don't want to put anything that big in my mouth, because he's a mouth to lung vapor. I don't make fun of him wanting to swizzle, small dicks or shit like that. Just so he not say anything about, these are like big cocks in my mouth. Yeah, thank you very much for, including me in your vaping world, asshat. Yeah, so that's the main reason. And then the other reason ties into, let me check that one off our list here. The other one is, I have no problem with the mouth to lung thing. I said that in the last video, and I truly don't. I don't give a shit how you vape, just so long as you're vaping. I think that's really what it comes down to, and I think we can all agree on that. Other than pod systems, because pod systems are killing us, and nic salts are killing us. But traditional vaping, mouth to lung, has its place. It really and truly does. There's some people who cannot stand the amount of airflow that comes out of, a sub-ohm tank or an RDA, and that's fine. That is hunky-dory. But however, to take a side and say that mouth to lung is the preferred method of cigarette smokers to quit, and not have any factual basis behind that. Phil seems to be a very nice fellow for the most part. Actually, he seems like an asshole, but I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt here. But Phil doesn't work in a vape store. Phil has no boots on the ground here. The only time Phil's in a vape store is when somebody pays him money to open up a store or to launch a product. He's not there. He's not helping people in the store actually quit. I've seen people in the store actually quit with something other than mouth to lung. Sometimes, yes, mouth to lung is what is required, but sometimes not. and to make a blanket statement that that's what smokers need, it's what they need to quit smoking, is information based on absolutely fucking nothing. And I had a discussion with my coworker about this, and he said, similar to what Phil said, is, yeah, some people can't stand the the openness of a sub-ohm tank or an RDA. And you know what? That's fine. If you need that more restrictive hit, then, hey, if that's what works, so be it. But here's the problem. Is, once again, I say I've been in a vape store now for 5 years. I don't own it, so I hope I don't come across like I'm owning this thing. I just work there. I'm invested in it as far as I give a shit whether or not this store stays open. I give a shit whether or not the owner succeeds. I give a shit. And if you truly care about something, you try to make it your own, which is what I have tried to do at this particular store. And what I've noticed over the last 5 years is, when we started out, we didn't have anything but mouth-to-lung. Good old Pro tanks. You remember when the Nautilus came out, the CE4s, what we discussed in the last video, your Ego sticks, all that other stuff. And what we've seen over the years is the mouth-to-lung shit just doesn't fucking sell. It's that simple. They bitch about, well, there's nothing in a vape store for a mouth-to-lung person. That's because a vape store is set up to succeed. It is set up to make money. And if it's not making money, then it's taking up space on the shelf. I will go through 1,000 sub-ohm tanks before I'll go through a Nautilus. And that's still, after all these years, I still think that's probably the best mouth-to-lung little coil tank that's out there. It's just, they did it right now. Aspire is fucking up with the coils. They're not putting near the quality control they were putting on the coils to begin with, but as far as the draw goes, it's probably, awesome. From a personal perspective, I can't stand mouth-to-lung because it makes me want to throw up. That restriction just, it's really weird. I don't much care for it, and I didn't care for it when I started. But I only lasted maybe 2 months on that before I transitioned over to RDAs. And that's about how long it took me to research it and find out and how to build RDAs without killing myself, and learning about battery safety, learning how to actually build, all that good shit, learning my resistances and such. So as far as mouth-to-lung goes, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's not vape store's fault that there's no equipment in there for a mouth-to-lung vapor, because quite honestly, it doesn't fucking sell. It's just the way it is. It doesn't sell. It'd be nice. There was a lot of RDAs that come out, it was either last year or the year before, that were really snazzy, relatively inexpensive mouth-to-lung RDAs. I'd have loved to have some of those on the shelf. But we can't get them in because they don't sell. And if they don't sell, they don't get on the shelf. It's that fucking simple. So, alright, so we can mark off mouth-to-lung sales. Alright, we're cooking with gas here, fake people. So, and that's really all I'm ever going to say on Basardo. He does a lot of good for a lot of people. I don't consider myself much in the way of a snowflake, but I did not like the whole sexual reference, to putting something, like you're sucking a dick. And I didn't like it. I didn't feel it was appropriate with as wide of an audience as he had. So, but that's pretty much all I'm going to say about that dude. So let's move on to the next thing. I mentioned that someone had asked a question, and that's one of the things that spurred on the video. The actual question was, it was on a Grim Green live stream, and someone had asked how it was possible for Grim Green to dog on pod systems and salt nicks when he has his own pod system out. That was the question that was put out there. So we can mark that off the list. That was the actual question, which is still, I mean, everybody jumped on him for the IQOS thing, but nobody said shit about him dogging on not mouth but pod systems and Nick salts, and he comes out with one. Hypocrisy? Quite possibly. It might meet the clinical definition of hypocrisy. And I need to mark that off. All right, so this comes to my last topic for the day. Let's have another vape real quick. Take one more look at this. All right. So, our last topic, is I alluded to it in the last video, so I figured I would go ahead and touch on it in this one, is, I guess this is, like a public service announcement or a reality check or whatever it is. I'm not quite sure, but here it goes. Just because you vape does not mean you're not an asshole. So, let's talk about that. The vape, I hear a lot from reviewers all the time. We are a vape community. We need to join together, become one, vape community, yada, yada, yada. My first thing, when I first heard people throwing this term around, is I don't remember there being a smokers community. I don't remember there being a snuff community. not snuff this way, not in, because I'm sure there's a whole probably forum on that somewhere on the internet. But we weren't a community. We weren't the smokers community. None of that stuff. And yeah, we found a nice alternative to smoking and chewing and all that other good stuff. But just because you pick up a vape, if you were an asshole before you picked up this vape, you're an asshole after you picked up the vape. I don't know if that's going to... Some people go, oh, I don't understand that. Yeah, I'm talking to you then. Yeah, that's who I'm talking to. Just because you vape does not mean you're fucking cool. I'm sorry. I hate to break this to you. Just because you vape doesn't make you my best motherfucking buddy. My criteria for judging you as a person has little if nothing to do with vaping. If you happen to vape, so be it. But if you're a fucking asshole, then you're an asshole with a vape. If you don't vape and you're an asshole without a vape. I hope I'm getting this through. I hope I'm being crystal fucking clear here. Because I'm tired of the kumbaya shit. Oh yeah, we're a vaping community. I vape, he's my vaping brother. Fuck that. What makes the difference is who you are regardless of the vape. It has nothing to do with vaping changing who you are or anything like that. So when they say, we need to band together, well, yeah, I mean, we do need to band together, but that's not what's going to save us. What's going to save us is money. There's two things that are going to save vaping, period. It's money, and it's going to be the voice. Now, I don't know who the voice is. I don't know if the voice is out there yet. But let's equate it to the football, the shirt here, right? Kansas City. What did it take for Kansas City to become something? It took Mahomes. It took one person to spark. And that's what's going to have to happen within the vaping scene. There's going to have to be someone come out who is well respected on all sides, who The anti-vaping people ain't got shit on. The vaping people ain't got shit on. And it's going to have to be someone who's universally respected and admired to come out and say something positive about vaping. Once that happens, then the narrative will start changing. But until that day, it's not going to happen. It's going to have to be someone with enough stature to garner attention. I had hopes there for a little while that Leonardo DiCaprio was that person. But it turns out he's not that person. I don't know if he still vapes or not, but he did vape. He never said shit about it. He never stepped up when anything was being said negative about vaping. I've never seen an interview one where he stood up for vaping. So he wasn't the one. But those are the two things that are going to save vaping. It's not going to be us holding hands around the Washington Monument. I wish it would be. But in the same sentence where the advocates will say, Donald Trump saw us out there, and that changed his mind. In the same sentence, they'll also mention the fact that one of his advisors said that it could hurt his reelection if he went against vaping right now. You know what? That's why he changed his mind. He didn't change his mind because he saw a bunch of you out there. Trump don't give a fuck about none of us. Unless you've got money. Unless you've got 7 figures in the bank, then he gives a fuck about you. If you ain't got 7 figures in the bank, he don't give a fuck about you. He didn't give a fuck how strong, how many of us there are. I wish he did. I wish he did. I wish any politician. But until the time when we can stop throwing around, well, we're 13 million strong, that doesn't mean shit. That doesn't mean shit. Take that 13 million out for a test drive then. Let's get all these motherfucking vapors to actually vote for people who support vaping instead of the people who they already fucking voted for who are against vaping. I mean, all these politicians that are banning vapes in their states, you know, the governors, the members of their House and Senate, you know, the House, States, and Senate and stuff, they voted for them. They voted for them. And as a vapor, you probably voted for them too. These people didn't get in there just on shits and giggles. People had to actually vote for them. And 13 million leads me to believe that maybe 1 or 2 were vapors. Until we take that 13 million out for a test drive, 13 to 16 million, I guess it was, is the number that they keep throwing out there. Hold on, let me read this real quick because this may be news. Okay. All right. I just got this in. Let me go ahead and share this with you. Is next Thursday, all retailers must clear their shelf of cartridge-based e-flavored cigarette liquid. So Juul pods, all that other stuff. So the actual date on that they must be gone is by next Thursday. The sale of e-liquid flavors used in open vaping system and in disposable single-use vape products is permitted. So disposables and regular juice are permitted. Okay. So I just got that in. I figured I would share that with you. So, Where were we? Oh yeah. So I in general, I approve of the whole let's band together and become one and become a force to reckon with within the democratic system that we all live in. But it's difficult to do that when not when someone is a distraction or a problem, or like the old days, we used to bitch about people who go into Walmart and blow big clouds. That used to be, or going to the mall and blow big clouds. Those are people who are not helping us. I don't want to band together with people who aren't going to help. I don't want to band together with people who don't give a shit, or when the time comes, they're not going to want to do anything about it. So, the crux of this is just because we vape, it doesn't mean that we're all kumbaya fucking young. Now, if I don't know you and you've not done anything to give me any indication one way or another, then, hey, we're cool. But if I see you fuck over someone, whether vaping related or not, or I see you fucking someone over on the vaping front, like we had a customer who came in, he's been a long time customer, fucking broke my heart. He's been stealing from us. He's a vapor. He's a fucking asshole. Just because you vape, don't mean you're not an asshole. Does that mean I'm an asshole because I'm telling you about it? No, it doesn't. I'm just speaking the truth. And I hope that comes through. I'm not trying to dog on people who advocate, who try to affect change. I want you to succeed as much as the next person. But until we get to two things we need to change, it's not going to change. And we're beating our heads against the wall here, and we're going backwards at just a fantastically fast fucking rate. And so I hope something does change sometime soon. I truly do, because it's getting bad out there. So anyway, that crosses off the last on the list. So, how much we run? 31 minutes. Woohoo! I'm going to run it down shorter than 45 minutes. So that is fucking awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you for watching. Our next videos will probably be more hardware related. I'm thinking about going back through my catalog of stuff that I own and doing reviews on it, just because I've got all the shit to do it. The thing that I wanted to put out there, not a plea, but I just want to put out there, I am trying to build a vape museum, as it were. I'm not building a big place yet, but I'm trying to get everything that's ever been made for vaping. And you would look at all the stuff that I've got and go, wow, that's a lot of stuff. It's just a fraction of everything. Go look 2 videos ago. I showed whatever all the shit I had. But so if you know someone who's just wanting to throw away or get rid of all their shit, put a comment in the comments and let's see if I can't get a hold of it, because I would like to, at the end of the day, it would be my hope to have like a history of vaping place, like an actual little building where we can go through and we can chronicle the vaping and, all the devices we had and the dangers that were inherent in some of them and stuff like that. So that's kind of what I'm throwing out there. If anybody knows someone who's just getting rid of shit, rather than throw it away, let me know about it, and we'll find a way to get it to me. So thank you for watching. I appreciate your time, and we will see you next time around. Now we'll do it.